You piego. Suara bahas suara. Jalan itu ya? Ter apa problemnya?
All guests are requested to be ready as the event will begin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three announcements. Please take note. The first announcement, attendees are requested to either turn off or switch their mobile devices to silent mode throughout the program to ensure smooth proceeding and avoid any technical issues. The second announcement, please be informed that there will be a Q&A session with the invited panelists for the forum. Attendees are allowed to use the microphone provided to ask any questions. The third announcement, attendees are required, sorry, attendees are requested to stand and be prepared when the announcement of the arrival of the honored guest is made at the interior hall. Thank you. Announcing the arrival of deputy deans and honorary deans into the hall. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berusaha Dr. Mazlan Vincenzo, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs, Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Study. Yang berusaha Dr. Radwan bin Yusuf, Deputy Dean of Research, Industry Networking, Community and Alumni, Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies. Yang dihormati Dr. Ahmad Faiz bin Yaakob, Coordinator of Student Affairs, Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies. Yang dihormati Dr. Sharifah Fatihah binti Syed Muhammad Fuzi, Coordinator of ICANN, Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies. Dear respected committees of First International Student Leadership Symposium, student representatives, ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah and His blessing. Greetings. Salam Malaysia Madani, salam UiTM di hatiku, and welcome to the first International Student Leadership Symposium at UiTM Negeri Sembilan Branch. Good morning, esteemed guests. I am Nur Izaki Hazwani binti Ishaq, and I'll be your host for today. It is my pleasure to guide you through this morning's events and ensure a smooth and engaging experience. Dear esteemed guests, the long-awaited moment have arrived. The forum session. At this time, we would like to invite Andriana Shazlinda binti Ahmad Izwan, our moderator for today, to set the floor and lead us through the forum discussions. Yes, ma'am. So can we call the in-person panel to sit at the front? Thank you. Give a round of applause for them. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Malaysia Madani, salam USM di hatiku, and a very good morning to everyone gathered here today. So, I trust that you are all in a great spirits and ready for a stimulating and exciting experience at the first International Student Leadership Symposium 2024. So it is a true pleasure to see so many esteemed individuals united in the pursuit of leaders' excellence and also innovation. I am confident that today's discussions will not only inspire but also empower us to drive a meaningful change in our respective fields. So let's make the most of this opportunity to learn, share, and grow together. But first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Andriana Shazlinda binti Ahmad Izwan, could be addressed as Andriana, and I am a currently student at the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies in Corporate Administration. So it is both a privilege and a great responsibility to serve as your moderator for today's session. I am deeply honored to guide our discussions, and I kindly ask for your support and engagement as we work together to ensure that today's conversations are both impactful and enriching for everyone involved. So let's create a space for a thoughtful dialogue and mutual learning. Alright, so before we begin, whether you are here with us in person or tuning in virtually from the comfort of your home, I want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. To those of you joining us virtually, we see you, even though they are in the behind of the screen. You are just as much a part of the conversations. And for our in-person audience, I kindly ask you guys to give a full attention. And by full attention, I mean that both eyes on the stage, not one eye on the screens and one ear on the conversation. Alright, so everyone, please feel at ease as we are about to embark on a highly engaging and thought-provoking discussions. As for today, we are actually privileged to have like five distinguished panelists. As you guys can see, we have in person and also a virtually panelist with us today. Because these panelists is both internationals and local students actually, who are, I can say that they are very well versed in their fields of expertise. Once you guys see their CV, you guys will be amazed like me. And then their impressive backgrounds actually, with their unique global perspective, will undoubtedly offer us a valuable insight, setting the tone for the truly enlightening exchange of ideas. Alright, so to kick off our sessions, allow me to briefly introduce our panelists. First, at my left, I'd like to introduce Alma Kasha, a student of the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies at UITM Seremban. So give it up to Alma. So Alma has an impressive track record of leadership and international engagement, mostly around Indonesia, right? And he has represented UITM as a delegate to Universitas Jakarta, Indonesia, and international volunteerism and also a cultural exchange. So thank you, Alma, for taking the time to join us. We are truly grateful for having you today.
Thank you, Miss Andrea. And of course, good morning, everyone. Let's enjoy this forum together, okay?
All right, thank you, Alma. Next, I'm delighted to introduce our second panelist, Muhammad Daniel Koyum Muhammad Akasha, who comes from International Islamic University Malaysia. So give it up to Koyum. Yeah, so I believe that Koyum has an impressive background also in leadership and advocacy. He also currently serves as the vice chairperson of Pertubuhan Mahasiswa Kongres Gombak. Thank you for being with us today, Koyum. With your passions of student activism, we look forward to hearing your valuable insight. Koyum, can you say hi to our audience?
Hi, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Please hi me back. All right. So moving on. For our third panelist, we have Salma Nur Fitrianingrum, a student from Universitas Indonesia, who currently pursuing her studies in public administrations. So Salma has demonstrated remarkable leadership since 2021 as she actively engaging in various students' organizations and initiatives that have shaped her into a passionate advocate. We are honored to have you with us today, Salma, and we truly appreciate your time and contribution. Salma, can you say hi to our audience?
Yes, hello everyone.
Hello, hi. All right. Alright, so for our fourth panelist, we have Fiola Maharani Zamira Ayu, an undergraduate educational technology student at Faculty of Education, State University of Jakarta, who brings, I believe, who brings a wealth of experience both professionally and through her volunteer work. So as until now, Fiola has worked with the Directorate of Quality Improvement at Health Worker, Ministry of Health. That was so amazing. And then where she can, I believe that she can valuable insights into how technology and education intersect to improve a healthcare outcome. So I believe with her diverse experience, she will provide us with her unique perspective. Thank you for joining us today, Sola. Can you say hi to our audience?
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Nolan.
Hello, Sola, back please. Alright, so last but certainly not least, at my left, we have Nur Alia Dania Nur Azrai, a student from Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies at UITM Sungai Petani in Public Administrations. So I've been informed that Dania has a strong passion for public admin and wholeheartedly want to apply her knowledge to contribute to her university. So your participation today is greatly appreciated, Dania, and we are eager to hear from you. So, panels, how are you all doing today? Have you eaten?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. All right. So how about you, Amma? Have you eaten?
Yes.
So are you guys nervous? So our virtual panel, are you guys nervous?
Yes.
Oh, the audience is nervous. Okay, I get it. I'm also nervous. Okay, it's okay. All right. So once again, a heartfelt thank you to all five our esteemed panelists. We are privileged to have such a distinguished lineup, and I'm certain today's discussion will be incredibly rewarding for everyone present. All right, so to begin the sessions, allow me to provide a context for a clearer understanding regarding our team. In an era of rapid change, our focus today is on equipping young individuals, particularly young students, of course, with the necessary skills to build a sustainable and a solid future. And young leaders, with their fresh perspective and innovative ideas, have the potential to shape the world of tomorrow significantly. So, here I want to emphasize that actually integrity is a fundamental value that university students must embody to ensure that the progress of the organizations, the nations, and of course, the wider world community. And the primary objective of today's discussions is to explore the factors that contribute to fostering integrity among university students, with the ultimate goal at the end of the day we want to achieve of developing a generation free from corruption. Alright, so without any further ado, I bet you guys are boring to hear me talk only, right? So let us proceed directly to our discussions. For this first segment, I invite each of our esteemed panelists to share their insights on the concept of integrity in administrative perspective from students. So maybe we could start with Amar first.
Thank you, Miss Anjana. And wow, what's the audience is? Are you guys still sleepy? So energetic. Oh, okay. So thank you for the question asked, Miss Anjana. So like we had yesterday, we already discussed everything about the symposium about integrity, and we also have Tan Sri Kasim as one of our keynote person to give us an address about this integrity issue. As a perspective from a student itself, I tend to believe that we in integrity we need to explore how students perceive and understand the role of integrity in administrative practices because it delves into the importance of ethical behavior itself. So by this, it means that we need to have transparency leadership, examining how students view these qualities influencing decision making processes. Because by focusing on students' perspective, this discussion itself, it aims to highlight the significance of fostering a culture of integrity from a young age. Because we need to understand that integrity is something that cannot be taught. We cannot shape someone to have integrity because if we want someone to have integrity in themselves, we need to nurture it since the young age. Let me give you a short example. Imagine if a 4-year-old kid, okay, every day his parents give pocket money for around 4 ringgit. Parents told him to go buy food, but instead he used the money for other purposes. And these kind of things is not being addressed by the parents, or that kids still use the same culture. So that's why we need to understand that integrity, on my perspective, as a brief, we need to nurture it, we shape it since young. There's one Malay quote or pepatah Melayu say that melentur buluh biarlah dari rebungnya. So I think that's for me actually.
All right. Thank you so much, Amma. So moving on, we'll next be going on with Daniel.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone in the hall.
Salam. Salam. Salam.
I don't see. Where is your eyes? All I see is mata sepet. Okay, don't waste any time. Assalamualaikum. I'm the panel from UITM and FSPP Negeri Kedah. Okay, today our topic is about integrity. Actually, integrity in administration. So, let we dive into the concept of integrity in administration. So I believe as a student, we take integrity as honesty, responsibility in doing anything, especially in leadership, right? Because we are here in the hall as a leader, as a future leader of our country. All right. So, what's the meaning of integrity? Honest, responsibility. Yes. Who's answer that? Very good. Uh, okay. Okay. And then, as a leader, right? We hold as a president, as MPP of your university. You are representing your university, right? So in whatever we're doing, integrity means that we are avoiding any kind of deceit or corruption in fulfilling our duties. All right. Okay. Why I would like to highlight here the concept of integrity itself in administrations, in universities, and in any educational institutions is very crucial. For what? To create the positive environments in the institutions. So you, I would like to ask you as students, as a leader here, can you live, can you pursue your study in the very toxic institutions? No, right?
Oh, a total no.
Yeah. Like the the administrator give you a biased decisions that might be oppose your idea or something else. So that's how integrity that I believe that integrity means in that way. I would like to pass to our
All
moderator.
right, thank you, Dana. Right, so I bet you guys are quite like waiting for our virtual panel. Like, all right, so let's move on to our first virtual panel, which is Salma. Salma, can you hear us? Yes. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, Mrs. Andriana. And I love how the previous panel is highlighting the integrity itself. But for me, just like what the Theodore Roosevelt said, to educate a man in mind but not in morals is to create a menace in society. That I believe every person, us in particular, especially those working for public interest, should uphold the value of integrity itself. Having integrity means doing the right thing in a reliable way. It comes from our internal way of thinking and behavior towards things and how we can be honest and have a strong moral principles in doing everyday life, especially in conducting service for many people. And by any means, the most integrating part is we're going to explore more about it in the discussion, everyone. So stay tuned. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. You're up to Salma. And moving on, we have Yola with us. Hello, yes, I'm here. All right, thank you so much for the beautiful panelists. But before I answer the first question, I would like to express my gratitude first for involving international universities in this important event and providing a platform for us to share our ideas. Okay, so I'm going to answer the first question. What is integrity? And for my perspective, students typically understand integrity as an acting way that is honest, fair, and respectful, and responsible in their academic work and personal conduct. I agree that academic integrity involves applying these values not only for one's own work, but also when interacting with the work and contribution of others. So integrity requires students to be truthful in their studies, respect the intellectual effort of others, and take the responsibility for their own learning. And from my perspective, I think integrity is something that develops over time and cannot be learned instantly. It takes a process of understanding, practice, and reflection to fully appreciate the significance of integrity and to apply it in both academic and professional life. In administrative roles with educational institutions, I think integrity is crucial because it ensures transparency, fairness, and accountability in decision making. Administrators are responsible for creating an environment where ethical values are upheld by both staff and students. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Viola. You're up to Viola. And then moving on to our last panel, we have Koyum from UIA. Koyum,
you, Mrs. Andriana. I hope you guys can hear me well. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for the initiative. It was very good. It's a very good initiative from the faculty and the organizers. Thank you for having me. So when we talk about integrity, typically people will understand that integrity encompasses about transparency, responsibility, fairness, and all. But that actually it is more than that. Right? I mean, uh, people always think that when it comes to integrity, it relates to the corruption and all. But then it is not only the corruption in terms of financial, but then the corruption in terms of intellectual itself. So I think let's move on to the next question. I think we have a more insightful discussion after this, and yeah, thank you.
all right, thank you, Koyum. Give it up to Koyum also. Alright, so we have gathered like several views on integrity among the young people from our panel themselves. So that's the point where we kickstart our engine. And with that in mind, I would like to proceed by presenting the first question, which is what students understand about integrity and why is integrity important in administrative roles within educational institutions. So I think maybe Daniel could kick us off with the first questions.
Alright, thank you, our teaching moderator. Okay, here we go. Okay, what is integrity as a student? What I believe integrity. Okay, actually, integrity is a core principle to shape our academic and personal behavior. Okay, for example, me myself as students in UiTM Kedah, okay, we take integrity as attending classes. Every day we go to class as responsibility as our student, as a student, right? Okay, and then we meeting deadlines, engaging with the actively participate in the university activities. This actually is one of the integrity as a student that that most of us are not really aware about it. That we take integrity like a whole and a big meaning. Actually, as a student, attending classes is also integrity and responsibility of a student. So, right? So, always go to the class, not postpone your assignment. Okay? Do not procrastinate. Okay. Second, yeah, as a leader, as a student, by applying integrity into our daily life, into our lifestyle, come from our soul. Okay, come to your soul as a leader. It can be benefited us in many ways. Okay, either you want to gain power. Okay, either you want to be a real leader. You want to get everyone to become a very good future, a great future, a great, I mean, the great leader for our future. Um, why? Because yeah, students they believe that being recognized for integrity, for honesty, it could open more opportunities. Like whatever you're doing, you come with a good intention, with integrity, with a good responsibility. Inshallah, you have open door in every way, in anything you're going, in everything you're pursuing. Okay, I think that's all contribute to a betterment for all of us here. All right. I'll pass to the moderator.
All right, so thank you, Danielle, for that first question. Moving on to Alma.
Thank you, Miss Andriana. So based on the question itself, integrity is one of the most essential values that were mentioned by Danya. So actually, uh, today we can explore two interconnected ideas on how these integrity topics work, between how students understand integrity and why it's critical in the administrative roles within our educational institutions. So first, let me clarify what we mean by integrity. Integrity can be understood as the adherence to a strong moral and ethical principles, doing the right thing even when no one's watching. As easy as that. And then for students like us, this often translate to honesty that was mentioned by Danya about between your academic work, respect for our peers and educators, and accountability for our actions. And also, integrity goes beyond just not cheating on test. Actually, it's not just you sleep, you bring your test, you bring your papers into your pocket, and then when the pengas perpiasaan dah lalu sebelah, tengok kita. It goes beyond that. Goes beyond that point. It is because integrity is about building trust. It's being consistent with your behavior and having a deep sense of fairness, especially you as a students, and I believe everyone in this room is a part of an organization. We have the most elite organization in here. We have the best of the best students in here. So we must understand that integrity goes way beyond that. We are not, I can say that the words that we use is, I believe that everyone here is not typical student. Student apa? Tiga K ya. Kelas, kuliah, kafe, kelas, kuliah, kafe, kelas. Kating. Kating, apa? Kuliah, kafe, kating. So I believe everyone in this room is not that type. That is not type of that particular student. Every night, I believe every night we all go to a meeting. We all have KPI to achieve. We all have our program to do. Am I right? So that's why I say integrity goes way beyond that. Because we are not that normal students. We are amazing and magnificent students. So yeah, I guess that's my topic.
All right, so thank you so much, Amma. And next we have Viola with us. Viola, please.
Okay. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So I think integrity is a key to fostering trust, promoting a positive culture, and ensuring that the policies and actions taken within the institution are consistent with its values. In this way, integrity becomes the foundation of good governance and help maintain the credibility and reputation of the institution. For example, lately, if you guys know, the Darurat Indonesia refers to a viral issues surrounding recent political development and concern about the state of democracy in the country and it's involved university students also. And this is the real example of a significant gap between the principle of integrity, such as fairness, transparency, and accountability that I mentioned earlier, and current political realities in Indonesia. In connection with the idea that integrity represents honesty, fairness, and responsibility, the recent political unrest demonstrates how the absence of these values can disrupt democracy. From that, we can learn that integrity is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical necessity for a functioning political and administrative system. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Viola. Next, moving on to Payum.
Hi everyone. So I hope you guys can hear me. Um, it is I want to ask everyone here about like, do you know what the percentage of the unemployment rate among the university students? I mean, among the graduated students. In Malaysia, um, the I believe the percentage is high. So why so? Why? Okay. When we talk about integrity, there is one of the controversial figure or maybe writer. He wrote an essay entitled "How University Become the Tower of Corruption" by Faizal Tehani. In his essay, he emphasized on the matters on the ideas of a prominent figure, such Hussein Alatas, about imperialism intellectual. Yeah. So when we talk about imperialism intellectual, it is how the colonizers colonize the mind of the people, the minds of the community. So, in the context of university, like this includes the staff, the lecturers, especially. For example, in university, in our class. So okay, I'm a political science student. So during our class, what if the lecturers doesn't give me an opportunity to express my opinion? Like, it is very crucial for us to have a different perspective and to have a really insightful discussion on any matters because we know that we have many social issues, racism issues, extremism issues. So, like, these all are related to integrity. So, if the lecturers only want to reach their KPI, if they focusing only on the ranking system, personally, I believe that these are very, very critical. Why? Because university is a place for us as a human to humanizing our humanities. And that's one. Another one is university is the place for us to be intellectual. Yeah. What it means to be intellectual is we must have the capability to what we can say to analyze the problems and also to solve the problems. So, in the context of imperialism intellectual, for example, in university, if the lecturers have the certain things like you only can say this, and he or she doesn't give us the students to what to talk beyond uh, the sciences of the study, the sciences of the knowledge. So I think somehow the integrity is corrupt here. So want to highlight it here is about the prioritizing of maybe academic freedom, prioritizing ethical values and all. And I think for me personally, university should be the the arena of exchanging ideas and yeah, university is the place for us to be an intellectuals. So in order to be an intellectuals, we have to think more comprehensive and yeah, more open. So I think when we talk about integrity, it doesn't really have to be um, what considered as financial thingy. It is also related to intellectual integrity. So I think that is it for me for now. Yeah.
Right, thank you so much for you. Next, for the last panel of our first question is Salma. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this question into like two terms. The first term we're gonna discuss about the theories in public administration. So I believe most of you guys here are studying public administration, right? So in public administration, we as students are taught that integrity itself is a branch of ethics, specifically in the philosophy of administrative ethics. Taken as a whole and at its most basic itself, the public administration is ultimately a system established for the service and benefit of the public. When public administration is improperly used for private purposes or benefit, then integrity is breached. And for the practical one, consequently, integrity in public administration is not simply the lack of corruption or like what colleagues say, the financial thing, but it is also about actively developing system and a culture which make it difficult to have the issues to take the root. So we as students can help to ensure that those given the responsibility by public is carrying out their duties in a moral, holding the public interest as the paramount. And furthermore, the integrity itself is also very crucial in administrative roles within the educational institution. You can imagine like integrity itself can foster trust among stakeholders in the institution, like students, parents, faculties, and the whole community, ensuring that the decisions are made transparently and ethically. And moreover, integrity is the thing that encourage a culture of respect and responsibility, influencing the behavior of others within the institution itself. And finally, integrity is very essential for maintaining the institution's reputation. So therefore, understanding and embodying integrity is very uh, important to everyone so that we can have the very basic foundation of effective and ethical governance in education.
All right, thank you so much, Salma. All right, so from what we've gathered here, we see that they have a different perspective, right? But actually, we see a recurring theme where they go for the core principles of integrity. They say that integrity is not only the financial things; it's also about yourself. It's also about your souls and how it's also a developing systems that happen within the educational institutions. And this actually really frames the importance of today's question, which is the administrative roles within the educational institutions. All right, so now let's proceed to the second question. All right, for the second question, from a student's perspective, what are the common challenges university administrators typically face, and how do these affect the student body? All right, for the second questions, I would like to start with Salma.
Okay, so basically, when we talk about the common challenges, I think most of you guys can like literally pop up with, for example, corruption, impartiality, and everything. So, um, in my perspective and also experience in a basic university setting itself, corruption and different interests are the common challenges that university administrators typically face. Basically, it is driven by the power and authority to deal with so many interests and so many people. And corruption itself can manifest in various forms, such as favoritism, misallocation, and ethical collaboration with external entities. So when decisions are influenced by personal relationships or even the financial incentive rather than merit, it can erode public trust in public administration and undermines the educational mission itself. So hence, it can affect the student body directly, like what I experienced before. The student body can struggle to receive their financial support and equal treatment, also leading to frustration and engagement discouragement within the organizations itself. And even worse, all of them can produce tension and also conflict among the student itself, especially for some groups that are receiving favoritism and there are groups that are not. So it is very important for university leader itself to foster a culture where corruption is monitored and rejected, and university administrator at all levels should be embracing values which promote the public interest itself at the end of the outcome. So like the education integrity is fostered and can be achieved altogether.
All right, so thank you so much, Salma. Next, moving on to Qayyum.
Yeah, all right, sure. Again, thank you. Yeah, for the previous question, I mentioned about the lecturers. Why I focus on lecturers and the students because lecturers is the what part of the university administration. Yeah. So moving on to like what are the common challenges of the university administration that they face. Um, for me, I believe everyone here always love to conduct any programs, events, and so on. But then there is one like limitations of or challenge I think that everyone can agree in which is uh, the layer of bureaucracy and the red tapeism. Yeah. Why? Because in order to have uh, any program, we must get the approval from the Hal Ewa Belajar or the yeah. But then, yeah, it's good because why? Because we need to get some funds, we need to use venues and all. But then, uh, in my personal view, we we are an adult. The range of the university students are 18 to 24 years old and even more than us. And yeah, I think it is time to embrace that students also can have the capabilities to approve any programs. So like if like this, if at some point we reduce the burdens of the university administration, that they can focus on the philosophy of the um, establishment of our universities, of our educational institutions, and on the like small matters about maybe we want to conduct a talk program, a speech, maybe a forum and all. So I think it's time for us to give the opportunity for the students to um, manage all the things that need to be managed in the university. Other points, another point that I want to highlight here is IIUM. We have IIUM Union. We have the Kesatuan Mahasiswa, Kesatuan Pelajar. So like we have to believe and we have to what we can say commemorate again that we are the one that at the highest level of the formal education. We have the privileges. We are the leaders. We are the students. Only certain of us in Malaysia and Indonesia and any part of the world can have the opportunity to go to the university. So like people pay taxes, we also pay taxes. So like they pay taxes for us to further our studies. So I think it is important for us to give back to them, to help them, because we know, like I mentioned before, about the social issues, the marginalized communities, the students that cannot even get any education or any health care in any institution. I think it is important for us to give us the students opportunity and for us to break the limitations so that we can have more ideas, more initiatives for the not only in the universities, not only for the students, but then for the communities in our country and every part of the world. Yeah, I think that's for me.
All right, thank you so much, Fayum. That was amazing. And moving on to Amal.
Thank you again, Miss Andrea. So from that question, actually, we we as a students, we often focus on our day-to-day experience, like going to our classes, doing our assignments, and the social life on campus, eating at Medan Stereo, things like that. The normal, ordinary things that students would do. But we don't always see the bigger picture of what university administrators are managing behind the scenes. The hal ehwal pelajar managing it, planning, reaching the certain KPI and goals for the faculty itself. So today, I want to talk actually about the challenge that administrators typically face and how these challenges directly affected us as students. So first thing first, of course, monitoring, resource allocation and budget constraints. One of the biggest challenges for university administrators is managing financial resources. I believe everyone in here, we all have our biggest project or programs that we ever want to do. Am I right? We all want to go international program. Am I right? But budgeting is the thing that keep us to the limit. So universities often have department facilities and student services. This could mean tough decision between funding for new programs and maintaining existing building or investing in anything to upgrade the facilities that's supposed to. So from a student perspective, when budgets are tight, we may see fewer. I'm sorry. From a student perspective, actually, when budgets are tight, we must know how to adapt in that situation. We can't always think that, oh, my faculty doesn't have any money lah, so okay lah, kita buat bukan macam biasa je lah. No, we always have options, and that's why, like I said earlier, it's about adapting. So that's why you need to know how to find that money. We need to know how to find the opportunities. This is like a little experience that I'm going to share with you when I do internship program with my friends right there, Amir Aiman, who I PTCS. We are going to Jakarta during that time, and the money is really limited during that time. We doesn't have any option. So me and Amirul, we decided to go out, find some sponsors, and yeah, we managed to go to Jakarta for 3 days, 2 nights, just with just with finding some sponsorship, and Amirul made maximum that he could. So number two is funding for student activities and organizations. Like I said just now, universities often have to decide how to allocate funds for student activities and organizations. Budget constraints may limit the support available for student clubs, events, and extracurricular programs. For us, for us as a students, limited funding can mean few opportunities for involvement in activities. Well, like sometimes you want to do programs like talk, sometimes you want to do programs that engaging with students. But sometimes with budgets that we don't have, could be few options like that. And adequate funding allows for a vibrant campus life when we can explore our interests, develop leadership skills, and connect with others who share our passion. Sometimes when we think that, oh, does administrators even care about us? Our administrators care about us. They do care about all of us in here. But sometimes we need to understand that sometimes your dream is too big. So you need to go find a way to reach your dream in every way possible. So to summarize these questions, actually, university administrators itself, they play a really big crucial role in shaping the student experience. Even though we don't always see the complexities of their work, we doesn't even know. We can't even understand somehow how does the bureaucracy work, how does the flow even work. But the challenges that they face, whether financially, academic, or related to student well-being, have a direct impact on us as a students. So it's important to understand these challenges so that we can engage in more, meaningful dialogue between us and the administrators. That's why sometimes we find a way to, communicate with most of our administrators. We find a way to communicate with our deans, with our vice deans, with our rector. So that's a way for them to understand what do we want and what do we need. In that way, they can also know that, okay, oh, you want like this? Find a way. I'm going to help you. So that's the way that you need to do. And I understand that's also the responsibility as you, and it shows that integrity in you as a leader. So that, I believe, is what call you as a leader. So if you think that you're a leader just by wearing your fancy uniform, having your fancy corporate clothes, having your title at the front. But if you can know how to adapt, how to have integrity in yourself, how to find the solutions, how to make difficult decision making, then don't even consider to call yourself a leader. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Aman. It was so heated. All right, next, moving on to Danya. Okay, actually, I agree with Aman's point of view. Okay, when we talk about challenges, there are a lot of challenges, but the first challenges that administrators, the university face is allocating the resources, the budgets, the money. It's all about money. Okay, why I say that allocating resources is one of the challenges because yeah, I think you all hear proposing program in the upcoming time, right? So the approvals already takes time. And we, as a leader, we are not get any confirmation either the program will get the approval or not. It takes time and effort to make a program, right? Then, regarding budget and resources, sometimes we, as an organizer, need to make a request for sponsors because sometimes um, money to invite guests to give all the participants feel comfortable really need huge budget and resources. Okay. And yeah, here I would like to share one of my friends' experience. regarding how she handled international program. Okay, during the high school. During the high school, can't you imagine a school can go to the Germany for their own funding under their club because they collect around 15,000 each participant to go to Germany. Can you imagine 15,000 into your hand? We they find sponsor without instructing or asking requesting from the HEP. No, I mean like from their administrator. So if you dream big, you go big. All right. We from our friends from Indonesia also. Maybe um, FSPP UiTM Kedah wants organize an international program to what to Japan. We can. It's beyond our expectation. All right. So yeah, when it's come to allocating resources and budget, we cannot actually blame the administrator. Okay, we have a lot of procedures, a lot of guidelines that they need to follow. So we as a leader, as the main head of our university, of our faculty, or even club, we need to find ways. If you don't get budget, if you don't get any allocation, you need to stand up and go find ways. Maybe you don't get any sponsor, then you make a program that give you fund. Alright? Yes. Yeah. Maybe someday DPEC or BEVA, I think BEVA here, right? We can make an international students, maybe with Indonesia, with even go abroad to Japan. We don't know, right? So we do as a student, as a leader, depending on depend and rely to the administrator is good, but find our ways to to make program and yeah to save times and also to make the program running smoothly. Okay, when this kind of approach comes to our mind, obviously we could attract more students to participate in our program, become more actively and not passive like by mentioned by Ama, 3K, right? Kuliah, Katil, and Cafe. So I hope that we are not from that uh, particular or student lah. Alright, okay. So I hope that all of us here could become uh, one of the leaders that always think out of the box, how to handle the problem and how to manage things when the thing are not in your way. So inshallah, as a leader, when your intention is good, when your dream is big, sacrifice more and you get more. That's all from me.
Alright, thank you so much, Tanya. That was so inspiring. Alright, so for the last panel, we have Yola. Alright, from my perspective and own experience about what is the common challenges university administrator faces is lack of clear communication and advocacy in the administrative process. I think we can all agree and consider it as a simple and common challenges, but I think the effect is often leads to misunderstandings among students regarding why certain procedures can take so long. For example, I believe maybe you guys often experience it too. Students may feel frustrated when paperwork or approvals are delayed, not realizing that the administrative system itself can be complex. If university administrators can provide a clear and timely information about this process,
or if this information were made widely available to students, it would likely reduce confusion and frustration among students. Students would have could lead to better patience and cooperating during administrative delays. Students will have more realistic expectations and a better understanding of the steps involved. By addressing these communication gaps, administrators can help the student body feel more informed, respect, and engaged, reducing unnecessary conflict between student and the institution. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Phila. That's it for our second question. So I think the panel's perspective is very interesting because they come with one recurring problem, which of course is limited resources and also the lack of communication. But the thing is, with the culture of having the integrity itself that go beyond only the financial thingy, we need to like if we dream big, we go big, like how Danya said just now. And I would like to restate that how Korean expanded on the student empowerment by saying that that we have the opportunity to do more and to have a lot more better than what's coming. So it is it kind of like it kind of like require our own effort to do to or to achieve something that we want to achieve, the goal that we want to achieve. All right. So as we approach to the conclusion of our session today, I can see that the back of the audience are kind of like yawning or like boring. This forum is quite boring for you or not? So this is the great forum, right? All right. For the final question, I would like to pose a final question to our esteemed panelists, which is what measures and practices can be implemented to ensure that administrative decisions are made with accountability and also fairness. All right. So for the last questions, maybe we can start with Fiola again.
All right, thank you so much for the question. I would like to answer that. I think to ensure administrative decisions are made with accountability and fairness, several measures and practices can be implemented. In my previous case, with the lack of clear communication and advocacy in administrative process, and often result in confusion and frustration for students, to address these challenges, I think it is essential to involve both staff and students in promoting mutual understanding through various approaches. The first one I think is clear communication. It is crucial because clear communication involves openly sharing the decision-making process, and by providing clear and accessible information, students and staff can better understand what to expect, reducing misunderstanding and setting realistic expectations. Next, stakeholder involvement play a key role in creating a more inclusive decision-making process. When both staff and students are included in discussion and have the opportunity to share their perspective, decisions are more likely to reflect the needs and concerns of everyone affected. This collaboration not only enhances the fairness of decision, but also fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility within the community. Finally, there is a feedback mechanism. I think this is essential to maintain the accountability. These mechanisms, such as surveys, suggestion box, or online platform, allow students and staff to express their concern or provide input on administrative process. By regularly reviewing this feedback, I think the institution can identify potential issues early and make necessary adjustments to improve fairness and transparency. I think through these practices, clear communication, stakeholder involvement, and effective feedback mechanism, institutions can reduce misunderstanding, build trust, and ensure that administrative decisions are made with both accountability and fairness, benefiting the entire community and institution. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Fiola. All right, next, moving on to Salma.
Okay, so ensure administrative decision is very important to be cultivated in every institution that we are in. And it can be made by codifying the ethics. We, as students in every institution that we are into, could have the ethical conduct written and also cultivated in day-to-day attitudes, started from the leaders and then the members. should be reasonable to understand, and it may be even necessary to hold training session to the institution ethics itself. So, moreover, in making the ethical codification, the concept of triple bottom line of the ESG, or known as environmental, social, and governance, in the vision ethics can also be included to create value for shareholders and also societies, such as by considering social or people, environmental or planet, and also economic or profit impact itself. And by any means, external demands and feedback from the public also very important and greatly influence how the administrative office itself can continue to make decisions and maintain their service match with integrity. That is all for me. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Roma. That was simple, but I think it was great. And next, moving on to Koyum.
So, okay. Hi. So, we are with third question, right? So, first and foremost, I believe with student power. I believe with student voices. Yeah. So I think this is a very good initiative for us, the students, to have a session together in this symposium to talk about the students and the administration. So, like, what are the measures or maybe the ways to um, what to solve these problems? Huh? For me, I believe that in order to have good or maybe a creative and comprehensive policies and laws in the universities, and in order to reach our goals and objectives for our institutions, it is important for us, for the administrations, to include the students in any decision making. Yeah, this is like Fiola's ideas on this. It means include students in any decision making. But what I want to highlight here is like we as a student, especially the student leaders, like we act as a check and balances for the government of the administrations in our university. So we play a role as the agent of change. We play a role as the catalyst of change. Why? Because we, the youth, we have the fresh ideas. We have the kind of idealism in which we can provide more, provide more ideas that we can help the communities, that we can help the students' problems from the very tiny issues to the big national issues. Yeah. So I believe we include the students in any decision making, because why? Because students is the major stakeholders, is the largest stakeholders in the universities. So every policy, for example, policy for financial, for pay the what we call it, to pay the yuran for our hostel fees, for example. So like I think in order to make any policies or laws on this issue, we have to include students. Like how these methods can affect the students, how this method can really help the students at all. So many of the policies and laws in the universities, they must include the students in any decision making, in any discussion. Yeah, that's one. And the second one is another what are the measures, right? So I think public hearing is one of the initiatives. Public hearing, audit. There's one university that I heard from the laporan ketua audit negara that after years of the establishment, but then there are no audit. So like we really I don't know, somehow disappointed when we read the news and all. Because where is the integrity? That like where are the because we get the funds from the governments and all. But then yeah, that's the matter. So it is important for the university administration to have a public hearing to have a what we could say like a session with the students, for example, a dialogue or maybe an online session like this to discuss any issues related to the matters of universities, to the matters of their institutions, in order to them to what we could say like achieve their goals and objectives at the end of the day. I think there are both of measures that I think that I believe will help the administration and will help the students themselves. Yeah, so thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Koyo. Next, move on to Daniel.
All right. So, how to ensure that administrative decisions are made with accountability and fairness? Okay. I think we all believe that good governance comes and relies on accountability and fairness. Good governance. Okay. As we mentioned by Koyum earlier, that student voice hold a strong power. Okay. It's not like we are interrupting the power of the administrator, but to ensure the accountability and the fairness of the administrator, I think we, as a student, are capable enough to, like we mentioned by Colin again, to be the agent of change, to check and balance between the administrator. So, what are the good outcomes? We could make a really good decision making. Okay, so we students, okay, we cooperate with the administrators to create a good outcome in a impartial, in fairness way. Because we students, the outcomes are for us, right? We are going to get the effect, right? So why not? The institutions, educational institutions, come up with a new styles of decision making that includes students to be part of them in making decisions, so that students have their own ideas, their own perspective in how actually decision should be um, should be idealized. Okay, so and I completely agree with Fiola and Koyum on how the students' voice should be heard by the administrator in ensuring the fairness and impartiality in making one's decisions. So that's all from me.
All right, thank you so much, Danya. Next, for our last panelist, Mama.
So again, thank you, Miss Diana. So mentioned by Koyum and Danya about student powers, I want to give one example that is really hitting right now. So I believe my friends in Indonesia right now, for Fiola and Salma, recently in Jakarta, I'm sorry, recently in Indonesia, we have a movement that called as Darurat Indonesia. This movement were led by students in Indonesia, which they are emphasizing and trying to change the government policy. Which when I asked Fiola, when I asked her what this policy is all about, it's about the trial of the Indonesian government trying to make a political dynasty. So from this, we can see that the students were writing. They were trying to get into the parliament building during that time, and the police were trying to overcome them, but it was impossible because there were so much students right there trying to change what's supposed to be changed, trying to make it right what's supposed to be right. So that is why I really support and really on the side when Dania and Koyum mentioned about the power for the student itself. So ensuring the transparency in decision making is actually vital in government administration. It builds, of course, the public trust, enhance accountability, and ensure that decisions are made fairly and with integrity. Again, integrity. Imagine a government without integrity. Imagine your Imagine you choose a cabinet members that have that doesn't even have any integrity in themselves. Imagine watching your family members are getting sucked dry by the government. Imagine that. Could you imagine that you're choosing a leader that doesn't even have integrity in themselves, that doesn't even have accountability in themselves, that doesn't make it transparent with their actions. So with that, actually, one of the way that I believe, not not really believe, but it could be effective, is public communication. By doing a public communication of decision rationale, which means that one of the foundation elements of transparency in government decision making is the clear and open communication of the rationale behind decision. This involves more than simply announcing a new policy or resolution. It requires providing a comprehensive explanation of the reasoning that led to the decision. Administrations should articulate the objective of the policy, detailing what specific issue or problems the policy aims to address. Imagine if you imagine if the government suddenly say, okay, we are trying to apply a new policy, please obey and follow. You would be like, what? Why? Why are you even supposed to follow that? I didn't even know what's the purpose of it. I didn't even know what the benefit of it. So that's why the government must know how to justify the actions. So I believe that currently government also adjusting certain things in the policy, and the government also have announced why they did that, why they did this. So it is also crucial for the government to explain why this certain initiative, this certain amendment is supposed to be made. So yes, it's one of the one of the key points for the question. But of course, I actually want to emphasize more on the power of the students. So we hold I can say, hold the key for a new perspective to be opened up. Because fresh mind, new ideas, things like that. So when we have that kind of new ideas that we can expand, that we can suggest to certain authorities, like we made yesterday, that particular symposium about integrity is one of the steps where we shows that we, as a young leader, have a place in the government also. So by that, we are also somehow trying to, yeah, that is more to purposing what's supposed to be made. Because let's just be honest, actually, no nation have there's no country that doesn't have any corruption issues. Let's just be honest. Every politician, I'm sorry, okay, this may hurt certain feelings, okay. Saya tidak berpihak kepada mana-mana parti. So, like I said, not all politicians are bad, and but not all politicians are good. One of my lecturers actually, he said that, how about you take a look, what does politics even mean? So, when I think that actually in politics there's no clear line of good and bad and my stuff. So the government, they're trying to be transparent, but sometimes do you think is it that are they trying to be transparent, or they're just trying to covering something up? That's the question. So you need to look at certain things from another perspective. You need to think that if something is wrong, you can always do not be a keyboard warrior, nagging, yapping in Twitter. That's not the way. I'm sorry, X, nagging and yapping X doesn't work. But instead, find a platform, find a way where you can express your opinions, find a way where people can hurt you and think that okay, that makes sense. Right? Am I right? Am I right, Miss Andrea? Okay. So by that way, actually, it also promotes the government accountability. So one thing that I really like about students in Indonesia, mahasiswa in Indonesia, is actually they are really protect what's supposed to be their right. They are really trying to push and encourage everyone to protect what's supposed to be done, because they actually protect each other. They believe that uh, apa Apa yang saya punya, saya punya. Apa yang kamu punya, kamu punya. Ya, begitu. Yes, what's mine is mine. So the government can take it away. Unless if the government know how to justify the action and give another alternative. So I hope that actually answer the third question. And yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Amar, for that nice question. All right, so audience, actually, what are we hearing from all the panelists is actually a strong topic on the integrity. We know that integrity matters, but actually it goes beyond more, beyond the expectations. And whether it's true, the practices that has mentioned by our panelists with involvement in decision making or public hearing and public sharing or something, and how Alma mentions about the public communication to rationalize decisions, and how we can see that our panelists are trying to expand the cases that has been going around like Darurat Indonesia, and how Korea bring his concerns about the IIUM cases that no audit and so on. So we can see that here that there is a consistent message that we as the students, body students leader, we have the things, because we know that at the end of the day, honesty is the best policy. So to summarize, today's discussion has actually brought forward some very practical insights into integrity. We've learned that not only that other authorities can only give the opinion about integrity, the students also can give their opinion on integrity, and we can see that they have so many different perspectives. And don't you think that their insight is great? Oh, it's great, right? All right. Okay, so and I hope all of these ideas actually gives you more to consider to looking and moving forward. All right. As we come to the end of our sessions, so it's time to open the floor for our Q&A session. Either you have a specific questions or would like a further clarifications on any panelist points during the forum, we encourage you to participate. And to ensure that you make the most of the time, kindly raise your hand or signal to our team and we will pass the microphone to you. Please state your name and direct a question to a specific panelist if possible. So any questions from the floor? Come on guys, ask, yeah. We have the representative from UM. Come forward. Committee. Could you conduct the plan? Yeah. Hello. Hi, can you hear me? Alright. So my question is for Mr. Koyum. I like your point about public hearing. Okay, so uh, I'm from University of Malaya. Even in our university, not all faculties or departments deploy this method. So I think it is interesting, and we should how to say suggest the administration parties to do this often. So I have a question regarding your university or your particular course. You mentioned about imperialism in educational institutions. So I want to know, is this prominent in your education space, whether in your classroom or in your university as a whole? Like, or do you or your lecturers or your university provide an open or safe space for all of you to develop your own perspectives or be vocal about your ethics and beliefs? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you. All right, Kayum, you may answer the questions.
Sure. Thank you so much for the question. You are sister from the University of Malaya, right? So for the first question is about like the measures public hearing, right? Actually, when we talk about public hearing, or maybe public speech to the students, I believe all students, all universities have done actually. For example, if they provide a press statement and they post it in their social media, for example, in their Facebook account and all press statement. For example, if they want to implement any policies, or maybe they have what we could say in terms of um, what's the word in terms of any announcement, yeah, sorry, any announcement, they have to post it in social media, because right now we are using social media, right? So that is one of the example of public hearing. Another example is for example about the audit of the university for every year. So it doesn't matter internal audit or anything, but then they have to post it, for example, in the websites of the universities, so that any of the important documents, we as the students and the staffs and all, we can have the access. So like we all know, we all acknowledge what happened in our universities. So yeah, so I think that's the first question, right, on the public hearing. The second question about the imperialism intellectual, I really love this. I suggest to all of you to write to read more on the ideas of Syed Hussein Alatas. He talked a lot about imperialism intellectual. He talked a lot about captive mind, minda tertawan in Malay we call it. Um, in our university, actually, me as a political science student, um, Alhamdulillah, it is good because our lectures is very like open. We could give any suggestions, we could give any worldview, we could give any opinions, and yeah, for every class, if you become a political science student, it is very boring, yeah, if you just come to the class and just listen to the lectures, but then you don't have any spaces, any times to give opinions, your own opinions. Yeah, we know we have limited times in order to we have limited times in order to give our opinions because we have to what finish the syllabus. That's another issues in our universities that we have to really follow the syllabus. But then we have to respect the knowledge. We have to like really really romanticize the knowledge. So like we will be a more what would we say like a more engaging and interactive session with the lecturers and with the other students. So yeah, I think that's I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you so much for you. And I think maybe we need one last question. Yeah. Wow. My God. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. We have two people, but yeah, we have one from. Oh, oh. Okay, good. Please make your questions very short and simple. All right.
Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rajana Harudin bin Rajan Azmi from FSBP UITM Kedah. And I will ask this question maybe for Kasha. Alright, okay. I think this is the crucial part because some of the student leaders is facing the ethical dilemma. And the ethical dilemma is not about their personal interest, but about what student want to have it and the university's policy. So, some of the student leaders doesn't have any choice instead of applying or applying the university's policy and ignoring the student need. So I will ask to Amakasha, for your point of view, with this ethical dilemma, what is the best choice or the best step to make it win-win situation? You follow the university's policy, and also the student get their need, their need. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, yeah, from you, please, and then we answer the questions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, salam yatim My name is Muhammad Ashari bin Marcus, and
all the way from UiTM Sabah. So my question is open to any panels that want to answer. So people often link integrity to transparency and honesty. From a student perspective, especially in leadership roles, is incompetence considered as lack of integrity? For example, a student leader can solve an issue but fails due to incompetence in leadership. Does show as lack of integrity or not? That's
All right.
thank you.
To start with the final question first. I answer the final question. Right. So, any virtual panels want to answer the final questions? Can you raise your hand? Are you all right? Come on, don't be like shy cat.
Maybe I can ask.
You again, yes.
For me personally, if the student as the leader, he or she is incompetent, so yeah, they breach the integrity as the student leader. Because for example, if we have elections, we vote for him or her, but then he doesn't even works and fights for the students' rights, and also for me, it is a lack of integrity.
All right. Thank you so much for you. Maybe Fela or Salma want to add a little bit. Yes, Salma.
Okay, so for me, I think incompetence is not linear with integrity because, like, when we talk about incompetence, is like the measure of the skill, but integrity itself is more like enhance the moral value that the leader upholds. So I think for leaders, it is very crucial to have both, where we have to be competent and we have to be upholds the integrity. But if there is a leader that not have a high competence, but the leader is honest and and the leader itself is treat people with fairness and also partial, then it would be good to have the skills also enhanced like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Salma. Moving on to Fiola.
All right, thank you so much for the question. I think incompetence and a lack of integrity are two different concepts. So they can overlap in certain contexts, but I think incompetence refers to a lack of ability, skills, or knowledge to perform task or job effectively. While lack of integrity refers to like a moral failure, such as dishonesty, unfairness, irresponsibility. However, incompetence by itself, when it comes to lack of skill or knowledge without dishonesty or irresponsibility, does not necessarily mean a lack of integrity, because I think integrity involves more moral choices, while incompetence is about ability, and they often become intertwined. I think when incompetence is handled unethically. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Fiola. So I think we'll move on to the questions that directed to Amma.
So thank you, Rajib, for the questions about ethical dilemma. So when we talk about ethical dilemma, actually, when you say that do we supposed to follow uh, the already existed rules, or do we need to change certain things? Well, when you first step into a place, this is the first step. The first time you step into a place, you need to know how to adapt first, which is I always use this quote, is masuk kandang kambing mengebek, masuk kandang harimau mengaum. So you need to blend in, just blend in dulu, mix around, get to know everyone, So once you did that, once you know how does the leadership, the administrating patterns that were done there, then you can figure out what's supposed to be changed. Because you already know what does the flaws that already happened in that pattern. Actually, you can change certain things that if you think that it doesn't suit it right, you can change it. For example, before this, at college Penari Skudai, we doesn't have any OKU access there. When we have around three OKU students. But Alhamdulillah, with the initiative that were done by our Vice Dean, Dr. Mazlan, and of course, the suggestion that we made, we already have an OKU RAM that can be easily accessed. Before this, when I ask anyone, they will say that we cannot do that. We cannot do this. We cannot do that because things like we have policy, we have SOP, things like that. But when you push it through, when you think that it's supposed the thing that you're supposed to do, because at the same time, if you're representing certain groups, you are carrying out what they need. You're carrying their needs. Actually, each particular of them. So in that way, actually it doesn't have any clear answer for this. It's more to you need to figuring out yourself by understanding the pattern. So in that way, when you understand what's actually the problem, then you can solve the problem. When you can understand, when you can see the problems, then you can see the answer. So I believe that answering the question earlier. All right. So thank you.
Alright, that's all for our Q&A session. Thank you, everyone. And then on that note, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for your time, attention, and also active participation today. Actually, it has been a pleasure to connect with such dynamic audience like you guys, and we look forward to welcoming you again at future events. And I look forward to be your moderator again. And then with that, give yourself quite a big applause for making it through and for staying with us till the very end and don't get so. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to capture some memorable moments together, shall we? Shall we gather for the group photo to commemorate this enriching experience then? Alright, so once again, thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Alright, so the crowd need to come up front. Alright, so we're going to take a group photo together. I think the crowd can come to the front. We also want to include our internationals panel. Audience, please be faster. Come to the front. The faster you walk, the faster you. We ask that all attendees gather in the center of the hall and request the multimedia team to be on standby. Okay, on the count of three, two, one, smile. Alright, one more time. Three, two, one, smile. Okay, okay, freestyle. Okay, freestyle. Alright, three, two, one. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Okay, okay. On the count of three, two, one. Okay. Alright, one more. Three, two, one. Uh, uh, good job. We will do video session. Okay. Amma will say student forum, and then all of you must say it's a wrap. Okay. No problem. Okay. You ready? On the count of three, two, one, go. All right. Thank you for your cooperation.